Thank
Maybe
you.
you should wait until after the talk to do this, just in case.
But we've recorded that clapping, and we will play it after the talk, because the audience at home will never know. Before we begin the talk, I just wanted to say that I think it's very strange for people to come to a foreign country and then speak in their own language, not the language of everybody in the room. So I have been working with an app on my phone to learn français. And I thought,
Et moi aussi pour apprendre l'anglais.
He's getting very good. So I thought that we would begin this talk en français, as far as I can, with the words and vocabulary that I have learned. Par exemple, où est le chat?
Where is the cat?
Le chat est ici.
The cat is here.
Où est le chien?
Where is the dog?
Le chien est là.
The dog is here.
C'est tout. Welcome to our talk. I am Chet Haase.
And I am Romain Guy.
And we will be talking about business solutions, which is, of course, BS. Another title for the talk that we came up with is the All-Comprehensive Rules of Corporate Knowledge Offering for Supervisory Head Training.
Which we, of course, abbreviate crock of shit.
We'd first like to start by talking about ourselves a bit, because we like talking about ourselves a bit. I am, of course, Chet. I did consulting from the early 90s up until 2000, after which I did consulting for 2 years. And I have followed that since by consulting.
And I'm Romain. I've been consulting from 2005 to 2010. Then I took 10 days of vacation on April 2010.
Unbelievable.
And I've been consulting since then.
Our company specializes in management consultants and consulting. We have a logo that we came up with that we are happy to license to you for a lot of money. We tell you how to run your company. It's trademarked. Please note that. Now, you want to know when you hire a consulting company, why am I paying them so very much money for telling me how to run my business? And in our case, it's because we do have a lot of experience in running companies. For example, I have over 30 years in companies.
And I myself have 20 years of experience running.
So we want to talk about business today, and we want to talk about the cultureness of business. And there are many aspects of business that we think about, what we call the nestnesses of business, such as toolness, the productness, the mindfulnessness. This is what we're doing for ourselves in addition for our wallets, and managementness. So we'll go through all of these aspectnesses briefly. Starting out with productness. We, of course, need to talk about PMS.
Remember the talk with HR?
PMs. We're going to talk about PMs. There are several different categories of PMs in our company. When we talk about product, we, of course, have the product manager, which we abbreviate as PM.
But we also mean personal manager, abbreviated as PM.
We have the program manager helping to figure out, the milestones.
It says process manager.
That one too, helping to figure out other things, which we abbreviate as PM.
But of course we have the program manager, abbreviated as PM.
And the project manager, which we abbreviate as PM.
But the project manager role is very important. What they do is they stand behind the engineers and they go like this all day long. Are we there yet? 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 Until we are there.
Critical function in any product company.
The backbone.
And then finally, one of the most important categories, we actually couldn't remember what it was called, but we know that the abbreviation is PM.
Let's move on to toolsness. So a lot of managers are tools themselves. But we've collaborated with JetBrains to build tools for managers. So here, it's an exclusivity. We'd like to introduce Minions Studio. You can see the mid-level managers edition. It's a brand new IDE that any manager at any company can use. And it's full of very useful features. For instance, we have the refactor menu. You can reorg part of the company. You can rename a project. You can generate code names. So that one we're going to move to the PM IDE, because that's what they do, they generate code names. You can also generate a vision, and that's how you get a promotion as a manager. You need visions. Then, of course, we need to manage the personnel. So we can move people around. We can hire them. We can fire them. We don't have a shortcut yet for firing people, but we realize it's extremely useful. So in the next version of the IDE, we'll have that.
Way to save me a lot of clicks last week.
Managers go to a lot of meetings, so we have a menu for this. And of course, we need to inspire our team, so the tool can help you there. And finally, we like to be able to pull members up and push members down. That's what we call promotions and demotions. We think it's a little more humane that way. And then this feature doesn't work yet. This is for offshoring and outsourcing, again, coming in a future version.
Mindfulness, as important as the company is and the bottom line profit, we think it's very important to take care of ourselves, to make sure that we have a whole and sane being. I'd like to start out this section with a breathing exercise. If you would all just breathe along with me with this slide. All right, let's go. We think that mindfulness is very important in meetings. Oftentimes in meetings when someone is trying to make a point or say something that I'm not particularly interested in, I think it's important to say, do you mind?
We live in a crazy world. We work hard. We spend a lot of time at work. And it's a very stressful time for you. You don't spend much time with your family and your friends. So it's very important from time to time to set time aside to think about what really matters in your life, your next promotion, and how much money you make.
We like to think about feng shui-ness. Let's create an environment in the office which makes us all feel better about our environment. Now, I think we all know that offices can create a very separate environment. Everybody's in their own little space with a closed door. That doesn't work at all. We prefer open and collaborative environments, which is why we prefer the cube farm shown here at our office. We also like to decorate the office in a way that makes everybody feel calm and joyful as they're doing their work. So this is the wallpaper at the office.
All right, on to managementness. The most important part of a big organization is the org chart. Probably, those of you who work at small companies don't have this issue yet, but if you work at a big company, you do. It's very hard to know who's your boss and who you report to and who you should ask when you have a problem. So we come up with a very good solution. Instead of trying to find that org chart on the local intranet, we decided to model the office environment after the org chart. So we slope the ground, then we put our desks on it, like this. We put the junior engineers on the left, the senior engineers on the right, so you can just look around you and you know who's better than you. Of course, we need managers, and again, we want to make sure that everybody understands who they're reporting to. So we use bunk desks. And that's where we put the managers, this is where we put the directors, and this is where we put the VP. Everybody needs a chair. Unfortunately, in the first version, we had an issue because of the wheels on the chairs. Everybody was demoted to junior engineer. So when you join the company, we give you a wedge that you put under your chair so it stays
It's really nice. Company logo on the wedge. Everybody really likes that kind of swag.
And we have perks for managers and directors and VPs. They have taller chairs. And to make sure that the desks don't fall, we have to tie them together. It's the bonds that tie us together.
We're actually missing some on the left there.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Also, it's for the junior engineers. Who cares?
Yeah.
And this also symbolizes the communication flow through the company from the top to the bottom. So every employee at our company is given a little hook. So when they want to pass a memo to the rest of the company, they can attach it to the hook, then they put it on the communication flow line, and then it moves down the hierarchy until it is properly filed.
I think status and communicating status is really important. If you have more than one person in the company, everybody needs to know what everybody else is working on at all times. So we have various processes for doing that in our company and organization. First of all, we feel that there's no such thing as too much communication. The second tenet is that repetition is also fine, and that repetition is fine. We have a system for automated status reports, a couple of slogos for that. We have something that we call typecast, which is there's a character interceptor on everybody's computer, so everything you type is immediately packaged up and routed to your manager so they can see what's going on at all times on your computer. But often it's not enough that they know what you're doing. They also need to know what you look like. So we have something else that we call web cameos. So it's actually filming you the entire time and, again, sending that directly. So at any given time, if you walk into a manager's tight little cube, you can see them watching videos of all of their reports as the characters scroll by on the screen. Similarly, their webcam is filming them and sending that information to their manager all the way up the chain. So communication, thick bandwidth communication at all times. And then finally, we also feel that repetition is fine.
Meetings are extremely important, especially to managers. We want to keep managers as busy as possible, because when they're not busy, they make decisions, and we all know how that goes. So we implemented something new in our company. We use auto-booking. Every morning, we look at your calendar, and we auto-book any empty slots. And this is great, because we can also make the PMs happy. We've implemented auto-Ganting, where we automatically generate a Gantt chart from the calendars. So now when they ask, are we there yet, we can just point at this and say, no, we're not.
Stand-up meetings, very important in especially some methodologies, like Scrum methodology. It's important to get up and have a meeting, occasionally communicate that status, but we feel that that's not going far enough, so everybody in our office has standing desks, so you can think of it as being in a Scrum meeting all day long. Part of this process, too, is the chicken and pig. They have these animals, sort of a metaphor to represent different aspects of projects. So the chicken lays eggs, the pig provides
the bacon or the egg.
I don't actually understand what these mean at all. So we made up our own animals that we feel is a lot closer to the processes that we think are important. First of all, in the organization, there is the squirrel. This is the person that will come in and take the feature and run away with it into a dark corner somewhere and just nibble on it for a while. There is the magpie, attracted to the shiny features to work on. There is the dung beetle. Oh, so important in an organization. I don't know if dung beetle translates into Francais. The dung beetle it's an interesting insect that basically spends its entire life pushing a ball of crap back and forth. I don't know why, but it's a very important aspect in bureaucracies where there's a lot of crap to push, right? You need these people around because otherwise everybody else gets covered with it. We have the cockroach. Nobody knows what they do, but they work in the dark corners of the organization doing something. Again, very necessary people. And then finally, we have the monkey, who just sits in the corner flinging crap at everybody, which, fortunately, if you have dung beetles, is not a problem. But the final and possibly most important person is the slug. This is the person in the organization. They come in late, they leave early, they do nothing at all, and you wonder why they're in the organization until the semi-annual performance review period, where they make everybody else look so much better. So, everybody needs a slug. Besides the stand-up meeting, we've tried other types of meeting that can be effective. The chin-up meeting, instead of standing in a circle giving status, you actually hold yourself up on the edge of the table and give status as long as you can until you drop. Meetings usually last only about 30 seconds.
We also tried close-ups. They worked really well in one-on-ones, but HR also asked us to stop that.
And we have give-ups, where everybody gives status as long as they possibly can until they cannot anymore. The longest one went for three and a half days. Yep.
We want all meetings to be inclusive. The problem is that every company, there's always one of those engineers who will just go on and on and on and talk about something that nobody wants to hear about. So we use something called a speaking baton. You get the baton, that means you can speak, and when you're done, you can hand it over to someone else, and you choose who's going to speak next. Unfortunately, that person might be the person who's the problem in the first place. So we'll also give you a taser, so you can decide when they stop as well.
We have some other meeting formats that we played with. There's the silent meeting. This is a meeting in which usually people just communicate through electronic means, through chat and email. They can really focus on what they're doing and have these sort of silent, like passing notes meetings with people. We've found some other elements to make these more effective. Sometimes it's effective if I just close my eyes and potentially doze off. We usually turn off the lights. Some people like hiding under the table. We've also tried group hug meetings, bringing everybody together in a sort of more closely physical way. Once again, HR told us to stop.
We like to inspire our teams, so we tend to leave a lot of little notes around the office that people can read at their leisure and to have a better understanding of what we're about and what they should do to be effective. For instance, remember, bugs kill people.
How many lines of code did you write today?
Oh, and square, really?
Spaces, not tabs.
Tabs, not spaces.
How many dependencies did you inject today?
Is your code committed? Are you?
We also find it helpful to communicate not just by things on the wall, but through electronic communication, these memos that we send around the office so that everybody gets the message at the same time, things that are going on, sometimes inspirational, sometimes informative. So we'll show you some samples of some that we sent out recently. Quality control metrics lunches today, free carrots.
Update for quality control metrics lunch. Remember to take only 2 carrots per person.
Engineers, so greedy
Very
with
greedy.
food, right? Really got to watch them. There are free carrots in the break room, courtesy of the management team. Please help yourself, no pushing. Turns out we had a lot of carrots left. I don't know why.
Today is Refactor Friday.
I'm pretty sure that refactoring didn't exist until we instituted this. It's a really good idea of ours. Decomposing carrots have created a pest situation in the break room.
Pest control is spraying today due to the infestation in the break room. Please avoid the break room at this time. And Bob never
listens, no. That was a problem. Please leave your offices immediately. There has been an accident with pest control substances.
Pest control antidotes are available in the lobby. Also, Bob may be visited in intensive care. His doctors are optimistic.
Condolences may be sent care of Bob's family.
P.S. Please no carrots.
And finally, when inspiring a company, we find it helpful to actually get up in front of the people and address them personally with speeches where you come up with visions and thoughts and ways to articulate where you want to take the company, where you want to take the people. Inspire them with your own thoughts so that maybe one day they could have their own sort of organization, obviously working for yours, but still, they may need a vision of the future, and so we like to inspire them with such things as, what you do today will live on until tomorrow, and the day after that, and even the day after that. In fact, it will live on until our next update, at which point it will not. And when it does not, what will you do? What will you do? You will strive onwards, making it work, again and again, satisfying users, impressing colleagues, and increasing your code line count until one day you will cease to exist, but on your gravestone will be the satisfying words, "Here lies someone who wrote as much code as they could, all the way until the end." Because even when you no longer live on, your code will, until our next update. That is our presentation. We would be happy to answer your very important questions. Don't everybody go at once. Yes, sir. Are we hiring? We are. There's a spot open in the junior engineer desk. Unfortunately, in the calamity that ensued by the cables not attaching the desks, that person has been out on indefinite sick leave. So we would be happy if you occupied that desk. Yes. Thanks for applying. Was that desk Bob's desk? Actually, Bob's desk is behind a hazmat tent right now. We don't really talk about Bob in the organization anymore, frankly. I don't think you want his desk. Definitely don't want to go in the break room either. Yes? Have we considered never dealing with the problem in the break room, therefore preventing them from taking breaks? Yes. Did I answer your question completely? I think so, yes. Yes.
Please, is there a startup license for Minion Studio? Because there's only 2% in the startup, but we would like to have a very efficient way to manage it.
No, it's only for big organizations who have a lot of money to give us.
We have a lot of money because we pay only 2 salaries.
We have found, this is sort of, I'm going to let you in on a secret of business, that the more money a customer has, the more money we can charge them. I'll give you that one for free. Hi.
What should I do with legacy people?
What should you do with lazy people? Oh, legacy what, sorry?
Legacy people.
Legacy people.
Obsolete people. People that no longer exist are not a problem.
I think HR might have something to say about that.
HR always has something to say, don't they? So chatty.
Next time we won't have an HR in our company.
Yes? What about team buildings? We do actually have a building for the entire team. Yes. Yep. There's no roof on the building, but I mean, you can't give them everything. Yes, way back. Is it a
zoo? A zoo.
A zoo.
Zoo en français.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that vocabulary yet in my app. So sorry. Désolé. Is it a zoo or a building? It really depends on the people. On our team, it's really more of a zoo.
It smells like a zoo.
Well, that's because we don't let them out to take showers.
What's our product? We tell you how to run your business and you give us a lot of money.
We're consultants. I don't know if you missed that part. Consultants don't have products. Consultants are the products.
Now back to the animals, we would be the leech.
Yes? We actually rove around making sure that all of those people in the pyramid are working. Yeah, we're the directors of the company, also the VPs and the CEOs, and oftentimes the only employees. There is only one VP. We have several of those pyramids. That's one team, right? So we have a whole team structure. We tried at one point to actually put everybody in the same company in the same pyramid, reporting all the way up to the CEOs. And again, all of those people are on indefinite medical leave. Yes?
Which consultants hire you for ruling your companies?
Which consultants hire us? Usually we're the consultants that get hired. That tends to be how it works.
Although, remember that one time we hired ourselves so we could take the money from the company for us?
Yes, that worked great until the check got cashed. And then the money disappeared from the account we just put it into. That didn't know. So that's a business plan. I'm going to give you another free tip. Don't pay yourself. It just doesn't work out in the end. No. Yes?
How many times can you answer that kind of questions?
How many times can I answer that kind of question? How many times can I answer this kind of question? That's 2. How many times am I going to repeat myself? That's 3.
You're not answering the question, you're just repeating it.
Next question. Do I have references? Wikipedia and the local library. Citation needed.
You had vacations in 2010. When are you next?
When are my next vacation?
Yes.
Never.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
We learned a valuable lesson at that point. Nobody in the company gets vacations after that. Yes?
Why Google logo is not in the sponsor list?
I have no idea who you're talking about. Yes? Did I create a whole presentation all by myself? I did once, years ago. And now,
But for this particular one, we did hire designers to make the slides look pretty.
you could tell, they were so beautiful, weren't they? Rich, deep. Yep. Yes?
One last question.
In the medium IDE, is there a way to convert the square people into Roman type people?
To convert what?
I heard the square of people. I think it's a math question.
Oh, convert the squirrel into
Oh,
slugs.
I see. Oh, you actually paid attention. Oh, I'm impressed. I don't think we've ever had that in presentation before.
Last time we tried, there was an accident.
We are working on an image visualization and conversion and transformation algorithm to do exactly that, but it doesn't work yet. Yeah, check back with us on that. Yep, thanks.
All right.
Was that the last? That was the last question. I'm sorry. We can talk to you afterwards.
And we'll get your questions and your checks.
Yes.
Thank you
All right.
very much.
Thank you very much.